Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football week 14 closing line show. Hopefully everybody is having a good Saturday morning. Before we begin, let's go ahead and get you guys to do us a quick favor. Make sure that you are subscribed every Monday, every Tuesday, and then every Saturday morning. Of course, we've got our opening line show on Mondays. We have our deep dives and pick show on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, Saturday mornings. Now, hey, did you realize, by the way, Chris, next week is the first bowl game? I mean, we're 7 days away from the first bowl game. They haven't even announced the matchup yet.
Yeah, it's a little strange. College football's kind of been a little weird, so we just got to kind of roll with it the best we can.
We are certainly doing that, but we will be here again next Saturday. Same thing. We're going to have individual videos for every bowl game matchup. It's going to be a good time. So make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and go ahead and hit that like button. It's right down there at the bottom. It's the little thumbs up. So all you got to do is click that. Very easy to do. We would certainly appreciate that. Head over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That is where we have all of the different articles. We got a great crew over at Sportsbook Review. They deep dive into this stuff hardcore. I'm telling you, they know everything that you would possibly need to know about these matchups. So go do yourself a favor and check those things out. Along with that, we do our Pick 6 contest every week. sbrpicks.com/pick6. That's PICK and the number 6. You can win your share of $1,600 in cash prizes every single week. It's free to join, free to enter. You can pick NFL games and college games against the number. Go knock that thing out. Finally, we're not going to be able to get to every game. I'll remind you multiple times, but you can follow us on. You can hit us up over there, and we are going to respond. We're going to have our phones on us all day. We're watching football all day. If you want to ask about a matchup that we didn't get to, because in some of these we're going to roll through, all right? So just to let you know. But you can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
All right, let's go ahead and discuss the recap right quick, and we ain't going to spend long on this. Air Force over Utah State on Thursday night. Utah State looks exactly like who I thought they were, and just a mess. Just a mess. Louisiana Tech over North Texas as well. They finally got that game in. That was the third try on that thing. They scheduled it 3 times. So last night, you and I both watched. We both had App State. Just debacle. I mean, just monsoon, nasty, cold, whatever. The Louisiana intentional safety at the end. What on earth was Billy Napier thinking? Like, I'm
going to tell you this. If I was interviewing Billy Napier for a coaching job, I'd like to ask him, what the hell were you thinking? And are you going to do that when you get here? Because we pay you way too damn much money to not do stuff like that.
Yeah. You can quick kick it. You can, like, that's the thing. If you didn't trust the guy snapping the ball, you still had to snap it on that play. Like, I don't get it. Didn't make any sense at all. Either way, Louisiana escapes. That was just a ridiculous game. Zach Thomas looked like complete crap. And he's a 4-year starter. Like, he looked awful in that game. So I don't know what is going on with that.
I'm going to tell you this. That guy didn't – the interceptions were as unforgivable as you can be. One of them was literally to a guy that was covered like a blanket in double coverage. His receiver had no chance at the ball. Both DBs had a better shot at catching it than his guy did.
Yes.
That's a 4-year senior making that throw. No. They've been winning on being more talented than everybody else. You can't make that decision and tell me he's a good quarterback. You just can't do it. You just can't do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you.
And that's the kind of stuff that never changes. You can't coach that out of somebody.
Yeah, it was bad. It was pretty bad. So yeah, that was a wreck. We both lost on App State. Do you have your official picks from Tuesday?
Yep, I got them.
Go ahead and read yours off, and then I'll throw mine out there.
I only lost one game this week, Gary. Isn't that crazy? And I think I lost it before I even gave the pick out because I think it was canceled Tuesday. That was Houston SMU.
So you gave it out on Tuesday. It was canceled on Wednesday morning.
Okay, it was Wednesday morning. I knew it was canceled early. All right, I got Arkansas +3 right now. You can only find it at +3 at one place. Most everywhere else, you're probably going to look at 2.5. Still like it. Think the wrong team favorite. I got Barry Odom is going to come back there. BC. God, this is why I got some unbelievable grace and luck. I bet on projections of problems. Our projections of solutions. Okay. I got BC at +6.5 because they didn't know if Yep, is going to play or not. I had a feeling he was. He's tough. He's played hurt 2 weeks in a row. Still played great. Now you can only get it at 3.5. I got Oregon State at 9.5. That's now 11.5. I'll take it. I got Colorado at -7.5. You're pretty much looking at 8 or 8.5 across the board now. Washington, I got it -10. They are now -11.5 across the board. I've got Florida -17.5. I think I got them at 17, but neither here nor there. It's just a little bit difference. Hawaii, I got them at +6. I knew San Jose was dealing with COVID stuff or the California stuff, and we didn't know the solution for it. I just bet the dog. Now that's a home game for Hawaii. They're going to the island. You can only get them at +2 to 2.5. Love all the line value that I got in all of mine.
Yeah, you had great closing line value this week. Great.
I knew San Jose was going to have problems because of California and because of the state, and I had a feeling that Djokovic is going to play, and so
Djokovic.
Yeah. I'm never going to say his name right. I apologize to him or any of his family members that listen. I'm a huge fan.
Camden Church said no concerns on the Beavers backup going against the Utah line.
No, sir, because they have a little 145-pound running back that nobody on the planet can catch.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And John Smith knows how to draw up game plans. He just does.
They don't beat you with the quarterback. They just don't.
Along with that, Oregon State has covered 8 straight road games.
I don't think Utah's good. I think Oregon State is going to win this game. I do not know why Utah is this big of a favorite against anybody.
I think I'm with you. I love this. Ryan McCracken jumped in. He quoted you with California stuff.
Yeah. I don't know any other way to describe it. I just know that I'm betting against any team that's trying to play there, especially in college.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Navy. And so here are my picks. I lost that date last night, of course. Navy +12 against Tulsa. That's senior day at the academy. They have not lost a senior day at the academy, even in their worst years, like dating back past 2003. So I think Navy could win this game. I don't think Tulsa is that good. They've been, miracle workers for a little bit now. Washington -11 against Stanford. That is now up to 11.5. You can find 12 at some spots. Cannot find 11 anymore. West Virginia +7 at Iowa State. That is now 6.5. Alabama -28.5 at LSU. That one's at 29.5 or 30, depending on the book. Eastern Michigan +14. You can only find that at +13.5 now. And that's at Western Michigan. And then NC State's team total over 33.5. The best that you're going to be able to find now is 34.5, at least from what I have seen from the multiple books I looked at this morning, and that's against Georgia Tech. So let's move on into the noon slate, and we are going to kind of run through this stuff because obviously, game day's on. We got a bunch of games going on. We want you to have as much time as possible to get your picks in. We are going to have our favorite bets of the morning towards the end of this. So we'll run through the slate. We'll give you our opinion on what's going on. If you have questions or anything, we will get to those at the end. If there's a game that we don't cover, obviously, we'll jump into the chat. We'll let you guys pick them out towards the end here. First things first, the first one on the docket, we are going to talk about Ohio State and Michigan State. And this thing has gotten very interesting because Ohio State looks like they're going to have some offensive line troubles. Like they have depth issues there right now. And they have multiple defensive backs out. They were already having secondary issues anyway, but 355, 356 rotation number, Ohio State opened a 23.5 point favorite. They are sitting at a 23.5 point favorite. I was able to get it at 24 at like 7 o'clock this morning. I think it's 23.5 across the board, isn't it?
No, it's 22 at a lot of places. It's dropped even more, brother.
Yeah, golly. All right, so 59.5 is the total. That's where it opened. That's where it sits right now. This is the ABC game. Chris, I get the feeling this morning that we could see something crazy going on here. I think Michigan State could possibly win this football game.
Yes. I agree with you on that. It's a long shot, okay? I like betting dogs. And it's scary betting against these big boy teams. But, man, I'm going to have a little sprinkle on the money line on this game. Sometimes you just got to take a chance and you got to say, we're gambling, okay? This is what we're doing. This is why you play the game.
Yeah,
I think there's a world in which Michigan State, if they play their best game, they can catch them. They can catch them.
Yeah, I kind of think that. I think Rocky Lombardi is not the best quarterback in the world by any stretch of the imagination.
No, sir.
But we have seen they've got some speed with their receivers. That they've got some guys that can catch the football, and that is Ohio State's biggest weakness right now. There's a chance if they get after the quarterback a little bit, get after Justin Fields, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen?
A lot of magic in the air, brother. A lot of magic in the air.
I mean, we're in December. It's time for.
I'm gonna tell you this. You know what I believe? I believe that football karma is real, and I believe all this monkeying around that the Big Ten is doing, I think it's gonna come back to bite them right in the ass. Just get them.
All right, moving on from there, let's talk about the SEC and the game that means the most for the SEC this morning. I believe is A&M headed to Auburn. That one's on ESPN. It's 411, 412 rotation numbers. A&M minus 3.5 is what they opened. 48.5 the total. The total has stayed the same. We're now out to Texas A&M minus 6. Now it was at 7 a couple of days ago. It's come back down to 6. A lot of love for Auburn here lately for whatever reason. And yes, I get it that this is typically the kind of spot where Gus Malzahn will come out of the woodworks, and they've won 3 straight over A&M and all this kind of stuff. But man, if you go look at the rosters and who's actually playing, I really, really think that A&M is just a significantly better football team. Like, I know Bo Nix plays better at home than he does on the road.
Well, he better.
That's
wait a minute. Do we know that? Do we know that? Because he didn't play well against Arkansas at home. He did. No. He didn't. He doesn't always play better at home.
But that's the thing. So as far as away stats versus home stats, his numbers are significantly better. His completion percentage significantly better at home. All this kind of stuff. But we all know about miracles going on at Jordan-Hare Stadium and all that. We know about the referees and everything else. But I just don't see how any of that stuff can get them over this hurdle. I think A&M is a vastly superior football team. The offensive line issues, the running back issues, I think they're going to have major problems with A&M's defense today. I think A&M covers that 6.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I do too. I kind of told you that earlier, and I don't know where the love for Auburn's coming from outside of laundry.
That's all it is. It's Gus Malzahn in this kind of spot. They always win a game.
We see how bad Kentucky is. They should have lost to them, or at least that game should look a lot different than it did. We don't know the outcome. They should have lost to Ole Miss, who I think is a good football team. They should have lost to Arkansas, who I think is a good football team. I think they're in the same mix. Literally, if they lose those 2 games, we see them no different than we see LSU, a bad football team that has a big name cachet to it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Auburn got their magic knocked out at the beginning of the season as opposed to the end. Yeah. Like, I think that's what this was. So moving on from there, let's move to the Big 12.
Ooh, somebody just said 23 players out for Ohio State.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, there's something going on. Like, they had to play today, though. Had to play. There was no question. They had to go. It's a Mississippi State situation.
Yeah, but I don't think the Big Ten allows that. That's the difference. The SEC says you can opt out. I think the Big Ten's rules is you cannot play.
Yeah, but it's Ohio State, and they changed the rule. So
they didn't change the rule. They're just pretending they're not at 7.5% or whatever percentage you got to be at.
Yeah. No, it's
they're counting staff and everyone as personnel, not as players.
Yeah, I mean, that's some fishy stuff going on.
This is bringing in a whole lot more grad transfers as GAs, as coaches, and saying no, we got 200 people here. We've only got 23 out. That's 10%. What are you talking about? We need 300 people there.
We got a bunch of walk-ons. That's what it is. Bunch of walk-ons. All right, Big 12 at 393, 394. Oklahoma State heads over to TCU, the DFW, baby. Oklahoma State opened a 1.5-point favorite, total of 51.5. Total has stayed the same. Oklahoma State is now out to a 2.5-point favorite. The line kind of stinks. This is an ESPN2 game. I thought that this line would be more. The more that I have dug into this game, I really like Oklahoma State here. I don't know why the line is so short, though. Do you have any feeling on this game?
Yeah, man. Gary Patterson. The magic of Gary Patterson. You're not going to go against a man that don't wear socks.
Yeah, but you're going with the guy that has a mullet.
Yeah, but we've seen that mullet magic just isn't always there. I don't know. I told you, give me 5 minutes into this game. Give me 5 minutes into this game, I'm a live bet it. Because if it is high scoring and chaos like Oklahoma State games normally are, I'm going OK State. I don't care what the number is. All right. I'm just waiting until the game gets close to even. I'm taking OK State. If it is slow and they are matriculating the ball and punt for the first 5-10 minutes, then I'm taking TCU.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
I need to know what kind of game Oklahoma State's going to play. Are they playing the old school Oklahoma State game that I've watched for over a decade? Or are they playing the new Oklahoma State game that is not fun, not exciting, and really isn't good either?
You mean they're playing exactly like TCU typically play?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is the team you don't want to do that with. Like, this is the one coach in the Big 12 that you don't want to slog it out with.
Yes.
Because he'll slog the hell out of it.
Oklahoma
That's
State,
why he don't wear socks.
That's true. So the Arkansas waterfall, the Oklahoma rattlesnake, all that good stuff going on up there. I do like Oklahoma State in this spot. I think they're going to win the game, but
I do too. I mean, because TCU's just been the weirdest. Are they the weirdest team out of the drunk Big 12? They have to be the drunkest of them all, right?
yes. I mean, it's a completely different team that shows up every
They've
week.
beaten teams that they shouldn't beat. They look bad against really bad teams. I mean, they have been as all over the road as any team in the country, really.
The offense shows up big in some spots. I mean, they can hang 40, 50.
And the next week they'll put 3 up
Yes.
against a bad defense. Like, no, yeah, this is the drunkest team of the Big 12.
Very inconsistent. Staying in the Big 12, let's talk about Texas and Kansas State, 4-13, 4-14. Texas got some offensive line issues. They got a bunch of guys that are deciding to opt out, all that fun stuff. And there's all the rumors of Urban Meyer and blah, 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 blah. They got to go to Manhattan. Kansas State, man, they have not given up on this season. I think that Kansas State has a shot in this ballgame. I think after that loss last week, like you would expect, obviously Texas, the much more talented team, et cetera, even with all the opt-outs. Sam Ehlinger, possibly last game, I guess, or what? Or do they have a game next week? I don't remember. Anyway, regardless, you would like to think that Sam Ehlinger would not let them lose this ball game. He doesn't want to go out that way. I can understand it. I think they do have a game next week. But even still, Kansas State is a good coached team, a very well coached team. They're a good football team. They're not the best.
I don't know that I agree with anything you're saying right now at all.
But
they might win this game, and they might cover this game because Texas is in shambles. But I told you last week, I'm done talking about Kansas State. I don't know why we look at them and think they're good, or entertaining, or exciting, or anything interesting at all.
That's it. You did tell me that last week.
They are off. Like, it's not. They're not TCU all over the road. They're just consistently boring. And if you go in and you play bad, they'll beat you.
Yes.
And if you play half decent, it'll be a close game, but you're probably going to lose. Like there's nothing good or fun or exciting about them at all. They are the most boring uncle at the table.
Yes, that's part of this whole thing, right? Like when you try and handicap these games, especially late in the season, motivation is part of it. I don't know what Texas is motivated for. I don't know.
Kansas State's ever been motivated for anything this year.
Maybe.
Are you talking about motivation? I mean, they just look like they're just showing up for the paycheck.
Who knows? I do think Kansas State has a shot in this. The line is 7.5. It's on Fox. We'll see. And then finally, let's hit one more time on that Arkansas and Missouri game. Missouri, a 2.5-point favorite now. It was 3. Total of 53.5. It's on SEC Network. You like Arkansas a lot here, right?
I do like Arkansas. I do like Arkansas a lot. I think Barry Odom is going to go back home. Barry Odom has taken these high-scoring, high-flying offenses, everybody but Alabama, because they haven't even played Alabama yet, have you?
Next week.
Yeah. I was about to say, everybody that they've played, they've basically taken their total points, and they've cut them in half.
Except for Florida.
Well, yeah, okay. Except for
That's
Florida.
The only one.
And Georgia, they held them to nothing, and then they gave up the ghost at the second half of the game. Just too much talent on the field, and that was the first game of the season. I think this Arkansas defense is going to do the same thing to Missouri. They're basically going to do to Missouri what they did to Ole Miss. They're because I think Missouri and Ole Miss are a hell of a lot alike, by the way. I think those are just mirror image schools right now. And yeah, I think they're going to be able to slow the game down. I think they're going to be able to take the ball away. I think they're going to take the air out of it. And I think Missouri's going to struggle to find points, and Arkansas is going to be right there with them.
I can get down with that. I like that. All right, let's move on to the afternoon slate. 401, 402, Indiana, Wisconsin. Wisconsin opened a 10.5-point favorite, total of 50.5. That total is dropped to 44.5, almost a full touchdown. And Wisconsin up to a 13-point favorite. It was 14.5 just a couple of days ago. I think a lot of people are buying into the fact that Indiana could still be good even without Michael Penix at quarterback. Remember, Indiana last year lost Michael Penix for a substantial amount of time, and Peyton Ramsey, who is now at Northwestern, came in and still had a pretty good season. So Indiana has done this before. They have got a backup quarterback, Jack Tuttle, came out. He was 5 for 5, 31 yards, led a touchdown drive against Maryland at the end of the game. That's obviously confidence building. I think Indiana can stay in this game. I think their defense is okay. I don't know what Wisconsin is going to look like. Obviously, they've looked different every single week. I think Indiana can stay in this game.
This is a want. This is a desire, need. I hope so. I really do. We're going to find out early. Is Wisconsin's defense going to make this new quarterback that we know can throw the football better than Penix could, but he's not the athlete. Wisconsin knows that. They are preparing for that. And if they shut him down, I think Indiana's going to struggle bad. And that's going to break my heart because I want this Indiana team to be real. There's a world where he looks really good and Mertz with this Indiana defense gets shut down. I do think Indiana's defense is good. I think Wisconsin's not. They're going to struggle to score the football.
Yeah.
Mertz is going to have to be everything we believed him to be after the week 1 game.
Yeah.
Because this Indiana offense ain't giving up points to anybody. Even that great Ohio State offense, they got a big lead early, but they went in at halftime. They made adjustments, and they struggled to score.
They have done that this year. They have shut teams down in the second half.
Yes, that's coaching, by the way, because it ain't athletes.
Yeah, that's certainly.
I need to see you for a half. Mertz is going to have to be great.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. Let's move into the Big 12 right quick. 395, 396. West Virginia, Iowa State opened at 7. It is now at 6. Total of 48 has jumped up to 49 as of today. This one's on ESPN. Of course, the Wisconsin-Indiana game was on ABC.
Yes.
This is the ESPN game. A lot of love for West Virginia. And I really think West Virginia's got a chance to win this football game. I told you on Sunday. I told you on Tuesday. I think, like, as soon as I saw Matt Campbell crying after the Texas game,
that immediately went and looked for this game.
I immediately looked for it. I thought, oh, they put everything into this Texas game. And they absolutely looked like it, man. That was a very emotional, hard.
And they should have, by the way. They should have put everything into that game.
Yes. Now they're coming back home. They're a little comfortable. All you got to do is win, or you need Oklahoma State to lose, and they are in the Big 12 title game. But they ain't there yet. West Virginia's defense is legit. West Virginia's run defense is legit. They can 100% slow down Breece Hall. The second best running back in the Big 12 is at West Virginia. Like, these teams are built insanely alike. They are so similar. I love Neil Brown. He looks like Matt Campbell. Like, their trajectory is heading in the same direction. I think West Virginia keeps this close. This feels 21-17. I really like the under here. I don't know why it went up from 48 to 49. I thought it would have gone down. I love the under in this spot.
I think people like betting overs.
That's true. Life's too short. The under, right?
I think people like betting overs, and if you don't see an edge, just people are just going to bet overs. Man, this worries me a little bit because I think you can be emotionally invested into a game as Matt Campbell was, and then go home, cry it out, party your ass off, celebrate, and then go back to work. All right. I just think if Matt Campbell's that good of a coach, if he's looking for a job at the next level, he has to be able to show that he can take big wins and then win the games you're supposed to win. And I think this is the point where we got to see that. I don't know about the cover. And I don't think he cares about the cover at all, by the way.
Yeah.
Because this number has gotten big, right? It's gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
I think this is a game where I would be very afraid of West Virginia winning the game. I think they can keep it close. I think they can keep it tight because they do stop the run really well. They also haven't played a running back this good and a run game that's designed this well. So let's just see how it goes. I'm staying away from this game. If I had to play it, I'd take West Virginia in the points, but that would be it. And I'm not in love with that because I think Matt Campbell's got something to prove. I don't think he wants to trust Oklahoma State to caulk one up. I think he wants to go out here. He wants to win it and play for the Big 12 championship.
That certainly, I agree with that. Let's move on. SEC right quick. The CBS 2:30 game or 3:30 Eastern time game. 377, 378. Florida at Tennessee opened at Florida minus 16.5 with a total of 61.5. The over has gone up to 62.5. And it is currently sitting at 17.5, 18 at a couple of spots. We don't have to spend long on this. Obviously, I know that you like Florida here. Tennessee is starting Harrison Bailey, the freshman quarterback. Finally, it took all.
That's the only reason the total went up, right? Because I thought 60 points is insane. I didn't see a world where Tennessee was going to score 20.
Agreed. I think that's what happened. I think people trust Harrison Bailey to be able to, get some points on the board at least, or maybe not make the crippling mistakes.
That's it. Well, and that's what Florida would have needed because Florida doesn't have the defense to shut them down, but they definitely have the defense to take the ball away.
You are correct. So
Guarantano is going to give it away. I mean, that's just going to happen.
So if Bailey plays well, right, or just okay, is there a chance that Tennessee could cover 18?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I'm not thrilled with this number, but I got the number where I got it. So, you got to dance with the girl you got. But I like the under still in this game because I do think Tennessee's defense is half decent. I think Pruitt is a pretty good defensive minded coach. He's just had a quarterback just jack it up for so long. My problem is this: if Bailey showed that he was that much better than Guarantano at any time this year, he would have been starting way before now because Guarantano has been the single sole reason they have lost so many games. Just crippling turnover after crippling turnover in way too important situations. And the second half scoring is so much on offensive coaching. When the other team's defensive coordinator can go into halftime, come out and say, we know exactly what they're doing and shut teams down, that's not all on Guarantano. That's not on the offense. That's on the coaching.
Yes.
That ain't changed in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right about
that.
Now,
I do think Bailey will be better because I don't think anybody can turn the ball over as much as Jared's turned the ball over. But is he going to be good enough? I'll take the ticket I got. I probably wouldn't play it, and I'd still stick with the under.
Yeah, Kenny Dorsey asked, so do you like the under or the over in the Florida game? I think we would both roll under because without Guarantano in there, you're not going to have the
I don't think Tennessee will give the ball away, so Florida won't have that many extra possessions.
Yeah.
If they just get into normal drives and punts or normal drives and field goals, then that's still low scoring and ticking time off the clock. And I think their defense is going to hold Florida to a couple of stops. I know this Florida offense just looks like they can't be stopped. And there's a world where they can't. I mean, that's the reason I didn't give the under out as a play.
Well, I mean, Vandy held them to 38. I mean,
you can't beat that, man. I
know. But what I'm saying is that we have seen in different games, yes, like the tempo can slow down, and they are not going to put up a ton of points. They haven't looked good in the first half in several games. I think that you can keep them under 40, and then if Tennessee stays under 20, then
your money. Yeah. No, I think you can keep them under 40.
Yeah, I think
them getting to 38 doesn't surprise me. Them getting to 40 is a little different. Tennessee's going to play this game with pride. I mean, it's a rivalry game. They're going to fight like hell. I don't think they got the dudes to hang in the fight, but they're going to try. They're going to go out there and they're going to compete.
I agree. Let's move on. And we've got Boston College and Virginia ACC matchup on ESPN3 streaming game. We talked about this a little bit earlier, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, 345, 346 rotation numbers. Boston College opened up as a 7-point dog on the road Virginia right now sitting as a 3.5-point favorite. A lot of love once Phil Dracovic was announced that he is going to play this weekend. It makes sense. The total went from 57 down to 55. That kind of makes sense too. I don't know what to make of Virginia week in and week out. I do like BC here. I think that they can win this game outright. I would stay away from this. I know that you loved it, especially the number that you got. You got 6.5, right?
Well, I got 6.5. I still like them at 3.5, though. I think this is a wrong team favorite. I think BC's really good.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I have been a kind of a big BC believer after like 2 or 3 weeks of seeing this team. So
Jeff Hafley's a hell of a coach, man. Like a first-year coach, like I think he's going to end up getting a bigger job, not necessarily this year, but down the line. So we'll see.
No, he's got those guys believing. They play hard for him. I love that offense. And I just don't – I like Bronco Mendenhall, but I don't trust this Virginia team at all. I don't know that they're good. I don't know if they're good at all. I think wrong team favored.
Yeah, you might be right about that. You might be right. Let's move on. Last one of the afternoon, and we are talking about Tulsa and Navy. I've already brought it up, but let me go on and run through the numbers. Tulsa opened a 9.5-point favorite. They are now a 12-point favorite. Their third-string quarterback, it looks like, is going to be the starter. I think Zach Smith might try and give it a go. We shall see. The backup is out with a knee injury for the rest of the year. So the third-string guy that came in and worked miracles against Tulane at the very end of the game, he is going to be starting, it looks like. 431, 432 are the rotation numbers. It's on ESPN2 at 2:30. The total went from 1.5 down to 45.5. And yet the spread went up. Again, Navy has not lost a senior day at the academy in 2 decades. Even their bad teams, they don't lose at home on senior day. So the fact that you can get 12 points here, I think is kind of free money. But,
I think this is a little ridiculous. I've watched a lot of Tulsa trying to figure this team out. And I pay very close attention to the American. I don't consider them a G5 school. And I'm a little biased into that. I have no idea. Tulsa hasn't played a double-digit game all year.
Are you saying that there's chicanery?
Yeah, this line doesn't make any sense. They've beaten way better teams by far less than this all year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Way worse teams than by far less than this all year.
This line stinks.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
But I will certainly take it.
I'm with you. I'm falling into this trap. I feel like I'm being just led into a cave, only to come out with just no dignity and just full of shame.
Yeah, maybe that's where I am. But I've got Navy in the money line round robin. So,
but I'm going in that cave.
Oh yeah, and I'm playing Navy plus 12 for sure. All right, let's move to the evening slate. We're going to try and roll through some of these. And all right, so let's go on and start off with this one. 493, 494, BYU, Coastal Carolina, opened at 10. This game was put together, Thursday morning?
Yep.
I mean, it was just ridiculous. Like we did our show Tuesday, and the lead game was Coastal and Liberty.
Now, but hang on now. Whoa. Both of these teams on Tuesday talked about, if we don't get a game, let's do this. So they both were looking towards it.
Oh, yes. No, absolutely.
He didn't get officially contracted till Thursday, but I think Tuesday they both knew this was going to happen.
It's pretty awesome. It is pretty. I
love it. Love it, by the way. Absolutely love it.
Yes. I'm a big fan of that. Big fan of it. It's BYU minus 10.5 now. I thought the line should be closer to 7. It's the 5:30 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPNU. It is it's where College Game Day is this morning. This is awesome. Jamie Chadwell against Kalani Sitake, Zach Wilson at quarterback against Grayson McCall. So here's the only issue that I can see. BYU's line play should dominate this football game. Regardless of game plans or whatever else, BYU has got the hog mollies, right? Coastal, however, has got a lot of those, smaller, speedy, shifty guys, and that can counteract some of the big line play. So I think this is going to be super interesting. I thought this line would come out about 7.5. When
Me
it came
too.
out 10, I immediately took Coastal, and then I took it again as soon as it hit 10.5 last night.
Yeah.
So I think Coastal can stay in this game, especially at home on a short game plan, like a short time period of planning. Like, I love what Jamie Chadwell's doing. I think that they can absolutely keep this game close. You feel the same?
I am. I want them to keep it close. I want them to. There is a world in which BYU, I do think, belongs in the conversation with the bigger boys. Okay, they don't have the resume for the teams they've played against to say that, but I watched them play, and they're grown men. I mean, these are 30-something-year-old guys.
Yeah,
right?
they got dad strength. They're all
they got that dad strength that I used to have back in the day. Now I'm just an old man. I think there's a world in which they could bully them. Now, not by 30 or 40 like they have everybody else, but can they beat them by 2 touchdowns? It scares me. I love Coastal. I'm looking forward to this game so much. I don't have a penny on it. This will be the one game that'll be on the big TV that I won't have action on in a long, long time. I'm afraid of the over because I think there's a world in which this Coastal defense can slow this game down and muck it up a little bit. I want it to go over. I think both of these offenses are fun when they're scoring. I love both these quarterbacks. I love both these coaches and what they're doing. I'm just afraid of the number. I thought it was too big. I absolutely thought it was too big. I thought with you, 7. I'm excited for this game. I haven't been this excited about a game day in a long time. I haven't been excited about a big game like this in a long time. I like that these smaller schools are getting some love. I do have the Chants in my money line round robin. 100%. That's the action I have on this is I've got a big round robin this week full of dogs, and the Chants are in it.
We do have, so watch me now, said size and age isn't everything. Love BYU, but I have the Chants, such a balanced, talented team with a boatload of points. Chants will either win or be super close. Gary T said families and 401ks on BYU's line. Robert Nash said Chants. 40BX said Coastal game and over. William Bush thinks Zach Wilson is going to show out. Watch me now. I'm invested in Coastal in multiple ways with extra points. First half and first quarter are incredible. Take a look. Yeah, there's all sorts of different ways that you can bet this thing, and it is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait.
I'm just going to watch it. All I want is a great game. That's all I want. I don't need one team blowing out the other and exposing them. I just want fantastic football.
That's much respect to them for actually getting this game done. I love it. All right, moving on very quickly. Clemson at Virginia Tech, 344 rotation number. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on ABC. Clemson opened 21.5. It's now sitting at 22. That's actually down from what it was just yesterday. So the total went from 66.5 up to 67. Is this the last stand for Fuente? Is this, is he out of here if he doesn't get this done?
Well, I don't know. He ain't getting it done, but I don't know if he's out of here or not.
This is the perfect spot for Clemson to just come out and mollywop somebody.
Yeah.
So and they typically do this at the end of the season. They get the ball rolling, they get everybody back healthy, and they've established all this depth because everybody got hurt early, or they played 150 people against so and then everybody's got experience, and they come out and just destroy teams that they probably should. So moving on from there, the SEC CBS night game, Alabama LSU. We won't spend long on this. 441, 442. It is a 4-touchdown spread, really. Opened at 27.5, total of 68.5. The total has come down to 65.5. It is sitting currently, I wrote down 29.5, and across the board, pretty much 29.5. You can find some 29s out there, a couple of different spots. I think, obviously it's gotten around. Everybody knows, Alabama has been looking forward to this matchup. It's kind of a revenge spot for them after last season. LSU's defense maybe looking a little bit better. What are we looking at? Is there any chance that LSU wins this game? And if not, can they at least keep it relatively close to where they got a shot somewhere in the second half? The
only hope LSU has is football karma coming in and just punching the SEC for mucking with the schedule.
Yeah.
That's it. They need an outside influence of heavenly nature.
Yeah. Felipe jumps in. Auburn beat LSU by 37. Imagine what Alabama's going to do. Then we've got people asking for the Bowling Green Akron over.
I've got games written down that people have asked about. So let's get to the questions at some point in time.
Let's here. Let's do that right quick. Let's go on through the last two. I know that you wanted to talk about these. You asked me the other day to talk about these. You see Arizona State. Arizona State opened 6-point favorite. They're now 3-point favorite. You like UCLA here?
I don't know. I liked them at 6. I don't know if I like them at 3. I think UCLA is much improved. I'm excited about this game in the Pac-12.
And finally, another Pac-12 game that you did bring up earlier, Oregon State at Utah. Opened Utah minus 7.5. It's jumped out. It's Utah 11.5. You're still all over the Beavers, right?
Yeah, I'm still all over the Beavers.
That makes sense. All right. Let's see. Favorite bets from this morning. Do you have any that you are placing this morning that you did not have from the Tuesday?
All right. I'm getting a little crazy today, guys. I don't know what it is. I woke up early. I got a bounce in my step. I got some ribs on the barbecue. One of my best friends in the whole world's coming in town from Little Rock, and I just went a little nuts. I've got 2 teasers. You know I don't even do this stuff normally, okay?
Oh, I know.
All right. Most of them are dogs. So one is an all-dog teaser. I got Michigan State. I got Rutgers. I got Memphis. I got Navy, all 6-point teased. That's the only teaser I ever do, by the way. I'm not doing anything bigger than 6. Then I got BC. I got Oregon State. I got Colorado. I got Washington. And I got Navy. No, Navy's on the other one. So 2 4-point teasers there, or 6-point teasers, 14 teasers there. I like moneyline dogs. I like them. I like them a lot. I'm going to tell you 10 that I love. You can put them in any round robin you want. My book will only let me do an 8-team round robin, which is fine. I like Rutgers. I like Memphis. I like Arkansas. I like Coastal. I like BC. I like Indiana. I like Navy. I like Oregon State, and I like Michigan State, and I like Hawaii. I love dogs this week. I love dogs this week. We haven't had a doggy week all year. This is the week I think the dogs start barking. If it ends up chalk, come Sunday night, your boy's not going to be doing well.
My favorite bets from this morning, I've got Colorado State's team total against San Diego State under 20. I've got Navy's team total over 17. I've got Alabama team total over 48. I think they hit a 50-burger. Coastal plus 10.5 against BYU. I played that this morning. I went ahead and took it, and these are all small plays. At Kansas State plus 7.5 against Texas. I hit Michigan State plus 24, and you can't get that anymore. So Auburn plus Auburn's team total under 21.5. I think that A&M defense is legit. And I've got Michigan State's team total over 17.5 because I think they can put up some points on the Buckeyes this morning. So I've got a round robin.
Roll through it.
Auburn, Kansas State, Memphis, Arkansas, West Virginia, Navy. That's what I'm rolling. So
there we go.
Let's jump into the Q&A right quick. We've got.
All right, so let me tell you what we got. Somebody asked about Marshall, question mark. Do you like Marshall? It's a lot of points.
I do like Marshall. I don't think Rice keep it slow and will be slow, not Marshall way. You know how Doc Holland does.
Your internet's jacking up.
Is it?
Yeah, real bad. That's okay. That's okay. Let's keep rolling. Bowling Green, Akron. We've had a couple of people ask about this game several times.
Or
it's the same person asking about it multiple times. But anyway.
If you are betting on Bowling Green, Akron, you need to find something better.
Come on, Gary. No. You cannot bet shame anybody. If there's anybody in the world that cannot bet shame anybody, you are not allowed to do that. I won't allow that. I won't. You give them an analysis, Dan.
It is.
You give them an analysis.
It's impossible. Akron has lost 21 straight ball games, and they're favored in this spot. I can't figure out a total. Because Akron 4 on some teams, and they can't score on other teams. Bowling Green's defense is terrible. We know Brian Van Gorder. We know Scott Loeffler. We know that Bowling Green has a terrible coaching staff. Tom Arth at Akron, I think, is building that program a little bit. They've looked okay against some pretty decent teams. If I had to roll a certain way, I would take Akron, but I would take the under because I don't trust either team to score points. That's how I would do it.
Thank you.
Somebody asked about Memphis Tulane, by the way. Memphis currently
I wrote that down. Memphis Tulane.
They're a 3-point dog. Memphis is. Did that seem a little weird to you?
Well, they didn't open as that. They opened at a smaller dog, and it's gotten bigger, which means everybody's betting Tulane. Tulane just lost their OC, who I find to be an exceptionally good head coach, and I like him a lot. And I think that's going to affect Tulane a little bit. I like Memphis here. I like Memphis to cover. I like Memphis to win the game.
Memphis has had Tulane's number the last, because it used to be close.
Go with our Fighting Tigers. Come on now.
I'm a roll Memphis.
All right. Somebody asked Syracuse team total 7.5. Woo! Are they going to score, Gary?
No.
7.5
against
7.5.
So I love the Rex Culpepper story, right? Obviously, he's going to be starting at quarterback for Syracuse today. The cancer stuff and whatnot. He's back from that. He has looked okay, but this is Notre Dame's last game of the season. They don't have to play next week. Why on earth would they not give everything they got in this game to shut them out? They've done it to multiple teams this year that are better than Syracuse.
Yeah,
I
agree. It's scary. It's scary. That's a small number. It's scary. Somebody keeps asking, we gave you some of these games. Washington. Yeah, I think Washington's going to cover the 11. It's one of my gambling picks. We covered somebody asked about Toledo. I'm never going to say that name right. Toledo.
I have no feel on that game. I looked at that game multiple times. I don't know what to expect from Toledo right now. Jason Campbell, they show up some weeks and then they don't some weeks. It's kind of an Air Force thing, right? It's kind of a Tulane thing. You just don't know which team you're going to get from week to week. Darren McCall asked about Penn State and Rutgers. I
wrote all this down. Come on now. I'm on top of this. Your boy is doing work. Penn State Rutgers, Gary.
So this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that Penn State is just going to blow the doors off of them. They got the monkey off their back with a win last week. Or did they finally get that big win last week and they ain't so worried about this week and Greg Schiano and Rutgers shows up? Now, Rutgers is they're an absolutely competent football team. I don't know that they are talented enough to be able to hang in this game. If I'm going to play it, I'm going to play Rutgers. That's the only way that I feel like I can.
I like Rutgers. Right. I have a bet on Rutgers already. Rutgers is in my teaser. I think Rutgers is one of the most exciting teams to watch in college football this year that nobody's talking about. And Penn State, they hadn't beat up on anybody, okay? They got the monkey off their back last week. They beat another team that quit. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. Somebody asked about Purdue, staying in the Big Ten. Purdue, Nebraska. We didn't talk about this at all. Man, we usually at least talk about Nebraska just to get a couple of shots in, a little stick 'em. But
Purdue's quarterback is out for the year. I don't know what to make of that. The other guy has not shown up very big. Now, they played against Rutgers, who we both like. That Rutgers line, by the way, is out to 13 at some spots.
That's crazy. Oh, that's just disrespect to my boys, Rutgers.
Yep. So the Purdue situation, that is sitting at about a pick 'em at most places now. It was 2 earlier this morning around 6:30.
No, it was pretty much a pick 'em. You're definitely not leaving more than a field goal.
Yeah,
it's still 2 at a few places, 1 in other places. Yeah,
I think I kind of like Nebraska in this spot.
I'm never going to do that. Never.
I know you're not, but I'm
never going to do that.
I will take Nebraska.
I'm riding with Brom. I trust in Brom. North Carolina. I got a question on North Carolina.
Would you lay the 50? They're playing Western Carolina.
I know. I don't touch big numbers. You know that. I don't do that. So
I don't think so. It's 50. You can actually get it at 49.5.
All right. It's 10 till kickoff. Guys, thank y'all.
Absolutely. All right. So go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Again, if we did not get to your ball game, you can hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
At Chris B. Giannini.
Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and hit that like button for us. We appreciate all of you guys jumping into the chat. You are fantastic. We appreciate you every single week. And we're going to keep doing this. So if there's nothing else for us to hit, Chris, what do you say we go on and get our bets in?
Let's go.
All right. If this is sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you again on Monday.